XML schema or XHD. Yes or no? Even this was some differences between both. Yes or no? And that's why we saw that XML schemas are more powerful than DTD because of it supports all these points. Whatever were the limitations of DTD, all they are handled in XML schema, right? Okay, so these were the basic things that we had seen. Okay, then okay, then we went to this thing. Yeah, then we saw how to define the how the schema file is going to look like. Yes or no? Okay, when we will be defining the schema file, one more point I had said, we'll have to define schema externally only. Okay, in DTD we had both the options. You could have defined DTD inside the XML document or a separate file. Yes or no? But schema will have to define in a separate file only. Understood? And that file I'll have to connect to my XML file, right? So this is how our XML schema file is going to look like. This will be the syntax. Understood? No? And since we had seen that XML schema is XML based, the first line will be what? The XML prologue. Same like your XML file. First line will be XML prologue, and then this will be the root element, access colon schema, access colon schema. And whatever will be the definitions statements that will be putting inside this root element. Okay, so this is how the schema file is going to look like. See, and in addition to this element, schema element will be having some attributes. Understood? These are the 4 attributes, and this is optional actually. Even if you don't give this attributes, fine, but this attribute is required. Fine. So this we'll see when I'll be implementing the things and testing the validation part. Right? Okay. Okay, then we saw that the elements can be either simple or complex, yes or no. Then we saw how to define the simple elements. This was the syntax, how you define the simple element, yes or no. And this was some data types, built-in data types, right? Okay, then yeah, how to specify the default value for simple element. We just say default equal to red, okay? And how to specify the fixed values, we say fixed equal to some value, yes or no. Okay, then we saw how to define the attributes also. Okay, we know one point that okay, if the element is having the attribute, it becomes a complex element, yes or no. This we had seen. If the particular element is having an attribute, it becomes a complex element. Okay, then the element is defined in complex mode, but you have to note that the attributes are always defined as simple types. Okay, even if the element is having suppose 10 attributes, all those 10 attributes will be defined as simple elements. Fine. Okay, and the syntax to define the attributes was also same. Only thing here you have to say attribute instead of element. Okay, so access colon attribute name equal to some name, type equal to what type of data it is going to take. Okay, again the data types, same data types. Okay, yeah. Okay, then also default and fixed values for attributes also same thing, same like a simple element. Default equal to some value, fixed equal to some value, right? Okay. Okay, then by default they are optional. Okay, if you want to make it compulsory, we have seen that we have to say use equal to required. Use attribute we have to use, and we have to say required. So all these things we had seen in the last lecture. Okay, and then we went for what? We went for some kind of restrictions. Okay, restrictions or some more constraints. Okay, see when we use XML schema, okay, by default, see when we write this kind of definitions, okay, yeah, access element name equal to color, type equal to string. So by using this data type, first only we are imposing some restrictions. Yes or no? We say that okay, the data has to be what? String. It cannot accept a number, it cannot accept any other thing and all. So first only we are imposing some restrictions validation for validation purpose, yes or no. But in addition to these things, you can also define your own restrictions. See, and those things were known as what? Facets. Yes or no? Okay, with XML schemas you can add your own restrictions to the XML element and attributes, and these things are known as facets. Okay, now this also I had implemented and I had shown to you in the last lecture, yes or no. Okay, so what this example was doing, define an element h with a restriction. The value of h cannot be lower than 0 and it cannot be greater than 120. So how we define this? There is an element h, yes or no. So what type of values it is going to take? Yeah, integer you can say, but this should be the range. It cannot be other than this range, yes or no. So how we specified this? So in the first line, I have defined my element, access element equal to name. Okay, and one more thing you have to note over there, even if you are putting the restrictions, still the element is simple element only. Yes or no, because it is just having one simple value as a data. Yes, so we have to say that it is simple type. Okay, then restriction base equal to access colon integer, what type of data. Okay, then mean inclusive value equal to 0, max inclusive value equal to 120. And then closing of this restriction, closing the simple type, closing the element type. Okay, Then we had also seen, yeah, restriction on set of values. Okay, there's one element car and only one of these three values are accepted, either Audi, Golf or BMW. So how we had specified this? We had used enumeration. Enumeration value equal to 1, value equal to 2, value equal to 3. So only one of these three values will be accepted. Understood? No? Then only it will be valid, right? And everything is simple. Element name is car. It is a simple element. Restriction we are adding as a string value and all. Fine. So this examples we had implemented in the last lecture, right? Okay. Now this is restriction on the series of values. So here we are using some kind of pattern. Okay. So if I go to some proper example, see. Okay. The next example defines an element initials. So this is one element initials, right? Okay, then what is the restrictions over there? Only acceptable value is three of the uppercase or lowercase letters from A to Z. Okay, so there is one element. So these examples I had implemented in my last lecture. Yes or no? Okay, so what it says, there's one element what initials. And what type of values are accepted? Three lowercase or uppercase letters from A to Z. So this is what it is saying. There's one element initials. Okay. Initials. Okay. Right. And what type of values are accepted over there? If I take suppose say my name, will it accept? No, because it wants only three characters. Understood? No. Okay, like this will be accepted. This will be accepted. Yes or no? This will be accepted. Three of the uppercase or lowercase characters, right? If I enter digits, no, this won't be accepted. Understood? So this you have to specify in a schema now. So how it was defined? See, again access element name equal to initials. Again it was a simple type restriction based what? Okay, I'll just type and show you all again. So how we have defined this element? Again, it was what? Simple element. Yes or no? So first we said element name equal to, what is the name of the element? Initials. Okay. Then what we said? We said that it is simple element only. Yes or no? Even if you are putting the restriction, still the element is simple element. So we have to specify it over here. Okay. Simple type. Then what? Then what type of values it will accept? Only string values. Yes or no? So we'll say restriction base equal to string values. Yes, string values it will accept, right? Okay, then what? Okay, now what type of values will be accepted over there? Only three alphabets. So, and you know the pattern, how to define the pattern, because in validation part in JavaScript, I had already explained to you all how to define the pattern, how to validate the string and all. Okay, now to use the pattern in XML, we have to say access, okay, pattern value equal to, yeah, what is the pattern now? So we need the three alphabets. So neither they can be from this set or this set, right? And how many? Three. Okay, so this is how I define the pattern over here, right? Okay, now I'll close all the text. Okay, this I'll close here, only pattern. You can also close it on the next line. Okay, then what I need to close? Restriction. This tag I have to close. Okay, so that tag I'll close. Access restriction. Okay, and then what is remaining? Simple type is remaining. Access simple type, and then the main element is remaining. Yes or no? Okay, so that I'll close over there. Element. Yes, so this is how we specify the simple pattern. Understood? No. So if this is my schema and if this is my XML, suppose XML I'm saying QWE, so this will be validated. It will be accepted because it is as per this definition. Yes or no? But if I say suppose say one more alphabet, no, because here I'm saying only three. Here it is four. Understood? No. Similarly, if I say yeah, even this will be accepted because uppercase as well is there. But if I enter some digits, okay, no. Understood? No, because it is not as per the pattern. So same thing what we had seen in the JavaScript. Understood? Example is same, only these patterns are getting changed. Understood? No, same thing it is. Okay. Now n number of characters from A to Z. Then from this side one, okay, one or many. This pattern, you know, either male or female, one of this value. Okay, yeah. Okay, now the next thing we are having is some kind of restrictions on white spaces. Some kind of restrictions on white spaces. Okay, some kind of spaces and all in your XML file. Okay, so here the three options that we are having are one is preserve, one is replace, and one is collapse. Understood? So what is the meaning of this preserve restriction? XML will not remove any white space characters from your XML file. So whatever data you are having in the XML file, if there are some white spaces, and if you say preserve, then what will happen? It would remove the extra white space characters. Okay. If you say it as replace, then what is the meaning of this? Okay, all these things, the tab, line feed, carriage returns, okay, spaces will be replaced by a space. So these things will be replaced by a space, new line, then the tab, they will be replaced by a space in your data part. I am saying in XML file. Okay, and the collapse is same like you are replace only. Okay, everything will be, all these things will be replaced by the spaces. Okay, but only difference in collapse is if there are any contiguous sequence of spaces, okay, then they will be again replaced by a single space. Only this is the difference. So in terms of practical working, they are almost similar. Okay, here what will happen? All this tab, new line, all these things will be replaced by a space. But in addition, in collapse, what will happen? In addition to this, if there are any contiguous sequence of spaces, they will be replaced by a single space. And even the initial and final spaces will be removed in case of collapse. Okay, and preserve means what? It will be as it is. Even if there are spaces, new lines, tabs, they won't be removed. Understood? No, we are preserving the properties of the data, right? In here, what we are doing, we are replacing the tabs and the new lines by a spaces. And even collapse is same, but in case of collapse, what is the additional point? If there are any contiguous sequence of spaces, they will be replaced by a single space, and even the initial and final space is removed. Right, now these are the things that we are having under the white space restriction. But how to use this in a schema? This is an example. See, so what this example is saying, this example defines an element called address. Okay, there's one simple element address, and there's a restriction on that. Now, what is the restriction? The white space constraint is set to preserve. Okay, so this option we have to use, preserve. Okay, which means that it will not remove anything. It's fine. So how to constraints in the schema? See, again everything is same. Understood? Now see what it is saying. This element defines an element address. Again, it will be having a simple content, yes or no. But we have to add one restriction. White space restriction it is. What is the restriction? Okay, we have to use preserve option. Okay, here we had seen three options, so we have to use preserve. Means what? Properties will be preserved. All the white spaces, steps, and they won't be replaced by anything. Right? So how to use that over there? Only this property we need to use. Again, see, I have stated the element as address. Again, I'm saying it is simple type because I'm adding one restriction. You have to explicitly say that it is simple type, right? Okay, now restriction base equal to string means what type of data it will be taking, right? And this is where we are using that white space constraint. White space value equal to preserve. Okay, so this value can be what? Either preserve, replace, or collapse. Understood? Okay, and this is the same thing, closing of restriction, closing of simple, closing of element, right? So similarly in this example, it is said to be replace, white space value equal to replace, and here white space value equal to collapse. Fine. So even for, you can get this question for 3 marks, explain the different options of white space constraints. Okay, preserve, replace, and collapse. And one of the example you can explain. Okay, so this is how we use that constraint, white space value equal to preserve or other two options, right? Okay. Now we'll go for a few more restrictions. So what they are saying, restrictions on length means what should be the size. In this case, see, the size was what? 3, yes or no? Okay. So that length we are going to see now how to put the restrictions. See, yeah. So what are the elements? Max length and min length. Max length, min length, and the third one is exactly the length. So what length you want of the data? Okay. And here you can specify the maximum value and minimum value. Okay, like between 6 to 10 characters, 10 to 20 characters, and this length value specified exactly how many characters you want, right? So if you look at this example, what it is saying, define an element password with a restriction, right? So what should be the value? The value must be exactly 10 characters. I'm not saying what should be the value. I'm just talking about the size. Okay, whatever value I'm entering, that has to be 8 characters, right? So that we are specifying the length element over there. So I'm saying length value equal to 8. Understood? So whatever data you are taking, yeah, one more restriction is put over there, that it should be string. Fine. Understood? So it has to be exactly 8 characters. Even if the 9 characters, it is not going to validate, right? Okay. Now, yeah, here we are using that min length and max length element. See, define an element password, okay, with a restriction. The value must be what? Minimum 5 characters and maximum 8 characters. So here I am saying min length value equal to 5, max value equal to 8. So whatever value is there in the password element, okay, yeah, it has to be string and what? Yeah, both these things are inclusive. Okay, 5 and 8. Understood now? So 5, 6, 7, oh, this has to be the size. Okay. Then yeah, these are the same things. Okay, what we saw all these things. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now this is a main core part of the schema part. Okay. Like how we'll be defining the complex elements. Even the experiment what I uploaded. Yes, so yesterday you must have seen in XML we are having the fourth experiment, and there are a lot many problems inside it. So for single for single file you need to write the XML file, you need to validate against the DTD, then you need to write the schema also, okay, to validate, and you need to write the transformation code also, right? So the transformation I have not yet explained. That will be the last part of this XML. Understood now? So now we are done with XML, DTD, and schema. Almost I'll be finishing. Yeah, at least I need one more lecture for schema. Fine. Okay. So in the schema, yeah, majority of the elements will be complex elements. And which were the four categories I had explained to you all? Which were the four categories of complex element in XML? Which are the four categories? Okay, the one was a simple thing. If I am having an element, okay, so it is having some attribute, right? Professor 34. Right? Okay, now this element is what? It is having an attribute, yes or no? That's why it is a complex element. This was the first category of the complex element. Then which was the second category of complex element? If it is having some child elements, yes or no? So if I take suppose say subject, same example I'll take. All these things are very important, okay? And if I take suppose say one child, okay, marks. Okay, suppose say 34 marks. Okay, so in this case, this subject is a complex element, yes or no? Because it is having a child element. You can have multiple child elements also, no issues. Then exam, yes. Okay, so in this case, my subject is a complex element because it is having the child elements. Okay, and both these elements are simple elements. So no, marks is simple element, exam is simple element. So this was the second category of complex element, right? Which was the third category of complex element? Empty elements. Yes or no? So if I take suppose say item, item, yes. So this is an empty element. Yes or no? But if it is having some attribute, suppose id equal to some id 34. Now what? This element will become a complex element. Understood? No, it is actually it is an empty element. It doesn't have any content, right? But because of this attribute, we say that it is a complex element, right? Okay, there's a difference between this element and this element. This was not an empty element, but this is an empty element, right? But both are complex because of these attributes, right? Okay, and then which was the fourth category of the complex element? Mixed combination of everything. Yes or no? So if I take one more example, I'll take subject only. I'll take, okay. Sorry. Okay, subject only I'm taking. Suppose it is having some content, maths. Okay, this is a content, yes or no? In addition to this, it is having one child element also, one or many child elements also, right? So I'll take 50 marks. Yes, yes or no? So this was the fourth category of complex element. It is having some content as well as the child elements. You can have multiple child elements also. Okay, yeah, marks. What happened? Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, that was a common point to all the things. Yeah, that I'll explain. Okay, so these are the standard examples of complex element, right? So in addition to these, each of these element here I'm having the attribute. Okay, all these elements can have the attributes also. So even subject can have the attribute. Okay, marks. No, this since I'm saying that this is a simple element. Understood? No. Yes, this you can have attribute over here. Yeah, here there's an attribute. Here also you can have the attribute. Understood? So that is a common point over there. See, each of these elements may contain attribute as well, but these are the standard examples. To change anything because first of all, these elements are complex only. Understood? No. Even if you add the attribute, they will still remain complex. Understood? No. Marks. Okay. Yes or no? So this is a complex element. Again, subject is a complex element. Item is a complex element because of attribute, and subject is complex element. What is the nature of the subject element? It is having mixed content. It is having some content as well as it is having the child elements. Yes or no? Okay. So these were the four standard examples of complex element. Okay. Out of this, I think we have seen only this kind of example, how to define this kind of complex elements. Yes or no? Okay. So how we have defined this complex element? Okay, so if I want to define this complex element in my XML schema, what were the statements? See again, this is I think second or time or third time I think I'm explaining the same thing. Okay, so please see that you understand these things properly, right? So we need to first state the element name. Element name equal to what? Sub. Yes or no? Okay, then what type of element it is? It is a complex element. Yes or no? So we will to say complex type. Okay, now we will to say complex type. Okay, now we will to say children. Yes or no? There is a particular sequence, right? So we need to use sequence element. Okay, we need to use sequence element, right? Okay. Now in what sequence the child elements are appearing? In same manner, you need to define the elements. So this is a simple element here. This everyone knows how to define. Yes or no? So that's what I'm defining over there. I'll say access element name equal to what is the element name marks. Okay, what type of data is accepted over there? Type equal to yeah, number integer will take access integer. Fine. Or decimal also you can put if you want. Right. Similarly, I define this exam element also. Okay. So I'll say access element name equal to exam. Okay. And type you can take string. This access colon string. Right. Yes or no? Both the child elements are defined. Now I'll close all the elements. This one is already closed. This one is also already closed. Now this one is remaining sequence. The sequence I'll close. Okay, sequence is closed. Then what? Complex type I'll close. Complex type I'll close. And then what? Element I'll close. Main row, main element. Okay. Yeah, done. So this is how we define this kind of element. Okay. If the element is having only the sequence, the first type. Okay. Now we'll go to the other types also. How to define complex. Yeah, this is the same example. Okay. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are the four types, right? So out of these four types, we have seen this kind of example. Complex types containing elements only. Yes or no? Complex element involving child elements only. This we have seen now. Okay, now I'll go for this one. Not complex element. I'll go for complex text. Yeah, I will go for this now. Complex text only elements. Means what type of element I'm saying? It is like a text element. Okay, so I'll say So I hope this, I'm sharing my screen. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Where is it again? Just a minute. Yes, this was an example. Yes or no? Text only. Okay, so if you look at this example, see, subject is my element, right? Yes or no? Subject is my element, right? What type of content it is having? Simple content, right? Yes or no? But because of this attribute, it is a complex element. Yes or no? Okay, so what I will do, first I've stated my element subject. Yes or no? Then I'm saying it is a complex element. Why it is complex element? Because of this thing, right? Then I'm saying that it is complex element, right? Okay, now I'll go towards its content. What type of content we are having over there? Simple content, yes or no? There is no sequence of child element. There is no combination, nothing. Simple content it is, right? So that I'm specifying over there. Simple content it will be having, right? Okay. Now, what will be the type of this content? What type of data type? That data type is specified over there. So I'm saying restriction base equal to string. Yes or no? So now I'm done with this content. Now I'll come back to the attribute part. So what we have done over there? I've defined my attribute. Yes or no? Access attribute name equal to faculty, type equal to string. Understood? And now these are the closing tags. Restriction tag have closed. Simple content tag is closed. Complex type tag is closed, and then element tag is closed. Is this clear now? Yes or no? Is this example clear? Can I go to the next example now? Hello. Can I go to the next example? Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I hope you understood this thing. Actually, by looking at this thing, it is a simple element, but only because of this attribute, it is complex. And what we do, yeah, state the element, specify that it is complex, then you go towards the content. Okay, it is a simple content. What type of data type? String. Then you specify the attribute, and then these are closing text. Done. Fine. Okay, now we'll go for the third category. Okay, third category, that is this one. Sorry. Okay, mixed. Mixed content means what? Okay, mixed content. I'll take one example. I'll take an example just now. Yeah, this is the example. See. Okay, yeah, this kind of example you will see now, right? See why I'm saying mixed content. See, by looking at this element, first we will say that subject is my complex element, right? Because it is having sequence of child element. But you can see over there it is having some content also. Yes or no? So this we say that this is a mixed content. Why it is mixed content? Because there is some plain means some kind of text, okay, as well as the child elements. Yes or no? Okay, I hope you understood this thing. Why this is mixed content, right? So that's what we are going to see now, mixed content, right? So if you look at this example, see, there's one element letter, right? What type of content it is having? First of all, you will say that it is a complex element. Why it is complex element? Because you can see over there are some child elements and all, okay? And in addition to this child element, there is a content also, right? So this is mixed. Understood? Okay. So what you have to do when you are defining this kind of elements, okay? This is the while providing the definition, this will be the same like your sequence. When you have defined a complex element with some sequences, same definition you will have to use. Understood? No, same definition you will have to use. Only addition will be this attribute. Only one additional point will be what? This attribute mixed equal to true. You'll have to say this to the complex type element. Understanding? So I'll define this element now. Okay, I'll say something over there also. University. Okay, university. Right. So I will define this element now. Subject element. Right. So it is a mixed type. Yes or no? Okay, because it's having some content as well as the child elements. Right. Okay. So when you're defining this in schema, what I said, it will be same like your sequence. How you define the element with a sequence, in same way we'll have to define this, right? Okay, so I'll start defining now. let's take the same definition. So I'll take access element name equal to, what is the element name? Sub. Element name equal to sub, right? Okay, then what type of element it is? It is a complex type. Why it is complex type? Because it is having sequence, you will say, even it is having some combination, mixed content, right? So it is complex element, I am saying, right? Now why it is complex element? Because it is having sequence of children, yes or no? Okay, so yy element is there as well as marks element is there, right? So I'll say access colon sequence, right? Access colon sequence. Okay, now what? I'll have to define both these elements. Yes or no? Yy and marks, and both these elements are simple elements. So the definition is very simple of that. How do you define the simple elements? Access element name equal to, what is the element name? Yy. Okay, you can take integer. Okay, actually I'm specifying marks only over there. Okay, otherwise this I'll say internal or external. Okay, like that it is, that data it is taking, right? So I'll say type equal to access colon string, right? So no, similarly I define my second element marks, access element name equal to marks, type equal to, see, one when you're practicing this, see that you do that copy paste things, please. Better to type so that you get a practice. Fine, access for marks I'll put integer. Okay. Okay, both these things are defined. Now what? I need to close the sequence. Access colon. Okay, sequence I'll close. Then what? Complex type I need to close. Complex type, and then what? Element. This element. Okay, yeah. So as I had said, if you are having this kind of complex element with mixed content, okay, the definition is same like your sequence. Yes or no? Now only thing, since here you had a mixed content, what we'll have to say, for this complex type you'll have to use one attribute. And what is that attribute? You'll have to say mixed equal to true. Understood, no? So for this complex type element you'll have to say mixed equal to true. By default it is false. Understood? Now mix equal to true you'll have to say. So why I am using this attribute? Because here you can see, okay, in addition to this sequence I am having some other content also. Yes or no? So that we specify using mix equal to true. Understood, no? Right? Okay, so this is a third category, how this kind of complex elements are specified. Okay, combination, right? Okay, so if I had not given this, suppose a mix equal to true, suppose I don't give this mix equal to true, right? Okay, so for as per this schema, what type of XML will be validated? What type of XML will be validated? I'll take one example. Subject. Okay. And what yy in marks? Okay, now if this is my schema, then what do you think? Will this be validated? Will this be validated? Yes, it will be validated. Yes or no? Because it is as per the schema only. Element is subject, complex element as a sequence, yy and marks, yy and marks. Yes or no? Fine. Okay. But if I put the mixed content over there, if I say, suppose say, yeah, I am putting some content also. So will this be validated? Will this XML file be validated against this? No, it won't be validated. Why? Because here I am saying that it is only the sequence, and here I am having combination text as well as the thing. So how to handle this kind of things? For complex type, I'll have to say mixed equal to true. Okay, so now this one will be validated. Understood, no? Because of this point, right? So this is the third category. Understood, a complex element with mixed content, right? Okay. Now what is the last category that is remaining? The last category that is remaining is of empty elements. Yeah, the last category that is remaining is complex empty elements, right? Okay, so yeah, this we'll see now. Okay, now what type of examples will be encountering under this? Element will be empty. See, if you look at this, the product element, Element is empty element. It doesn't have any content over there. Yes or no? Does it have any content? No, it doesn't have any content. Okay. Only because of this attribute, it is becoming a complex element, right? Yes or no? So by looking at this thing, it is same like your first example. Okay. Even if it has some content, but here it is an empty element. That is the only difference. Okay. Here it is an empty product is an empty element, right? Okay. Now you just read this statement. See, the product element above has no content at all. It doesn't have any content. Yes or no? Okay. Now to define a type with no content, we must define a type that allows the elements in its contents. But we do not actually declare any elements like this. Okay, so there is the one small additional thing you need to remember over here. Whenever you are defining the empty element, okay, by as per the rules, it is a complex element. Okay, because it might have a attribute. Okay, and as per the definition of the empty elements, we know that it cannot contain any content. Content is not allowed over there. Okay, but as per the XML schema standard, okay, you need to remember this point. We must define a type that allows elements in its content. This is a rule of the XML schema. Okay, this is how this kind of empty elements are defined. Okay, so if you look at this definition, now you'll understand this point. See, my element name is product. That is been defined over there. Element is product. Okay, what type of element is product? Complex element. That is also defined, right? Complex element, right? Okay, but if you can see over there, if you look at this content, it doesn't have any content, right? Okay, but when you are writing the schema over there, you have to put this line. You have to say that, okay, it will be having some complex content over there. It will be having some this you have to put. You might think that, so there is no content, why we are putting? No, that is as per the XML schema. Understood? No, see, we must define a type that allows the elements in its content. So I have to say that it might have some complex content. And here any restriction you can give. You can either give a string or any data type you can give. Understood? No. So these two things you have to include for your empty elements. Understood? And here what we have defined. This is how the attribute is defined. Yes or no? This is how the attribute is defined. This attribute, and then closing all the text. Okay. So the only thing that you need to remember when you are defining complex element is what you have to make the provision. Okay, what kind of provision? That here it might have some complex content. Any data type you can specify. Here the integer is specified. You can specify any string, date, and no problem, because anyways it is an empty element, right? So I hope you understood this point. Okay. Okay, so how I define this element? I'll take the same example. Okay, I'll take one example. I had one empty element. Okay, age I define. I'll define this age element now, right? So age is what? It is a complex element. Why it is complex element? Because it is having a ID, right? And it is an empty element over there. Okay, so how to define this now? I'll say access element name equal to, what is the element? Age, right? What type of element it is in terms of schema? It is a complex type element, right? Yes or no? It is a complex element. Now what I had said, it now will go towards its content. Yeah, it will be empty element, but we have to say that what? It will be having a complex content, right? So I'll say that complex content. Complex content, right? And what type? You can take anything. You can take string, integer, no problems. Okay, so I'll say restriction base equal to, I'll take string or integer, no problem. So let's go with integer only. Okay, right? Okay, so now we can define. Now we are done with this content, right? I said it is complex content, and one restriction I have defined, right? Now I'll define this attribute. So what is attribute? How to define the attribute? Attribute name equal to ID. Okay, what type of value it is accepting? Integers you can take. Okay, that I'll close over there. Simple element it is, right? Then I need to close what? Restriction. Restriction. Then what? Complex content I need to close. Complex content I need to close. Then what? Complex type I need to close. complex type I need to close, and then what? Element. Fine, like this. Okay, so this is how we define the empty element. Only one point you need to keep in mind, this point. Understood, no? Okay, so I'm saying that complex contain and any restriction you can use. Okay, so this is as per the rules of XML schema. Fine. So just practice all these examples. Okay. So tomorrow also I might take a lecture. Yes, I may at that time. Will go with the entire files of XML schema. Understood, no? Right. So let's take the attendance. Give me 1 minute. So this complex L4 type, just practice these things out, okay? Means go to the notes. So actual addition, I have not yet explained, okay, that we'll see tomorrow. So just practice all these things, okay? How to define each kind of complex element. That is very important, okay? Because in the programs what I have given to you, there we are not having individual element. There is some nesting. So in that case, it will be very complex. Okay, so you are required to practice these simple examples first. Understood, no? Then only you can solve some complex examples with nesting and all. Fine. Okay. Today is 12, 21. Okay, what is the okay, yeah, 1 is present, 2, 1, 2, 3, hello, 3 is also absent, 4 is present, then 5, okay, 5 is present, then 6 is present, then 7, then 8 is present, 9, 10 is present, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, which 25, okay, 26, 26 absent, 27, then 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, okay, 26 is there, okay, 35 not there, 36, 35 and 36, hello, 35 and 36 not there, 36, okay, then 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, who is 41 now? 40 is present, 41 absent, 42, 41 present, okay, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, where is 46? 46 not there, 47, 46 and 47, 46 and 47, then 48, 49, 48 and 49, okay, 50, 47 is present, okay, 51 is present, then 50 is not there, 51 is present, 52 is present, 53 is, no, 54 is present, 55, then 56, then 57, okay, 58,